sa DZRH, sa Elizalde.
Get the bus, it's time to win.
O corporate. Same.
So, ang sinasabi ko na lang, isang mapayapang hapon Pilipinas. Narito ang inyong balerina ng bayan, si Lisa Macuja, na bumabati sa lahat ng nakikinig sa DZRH at sa lahat ng nanonood sa RHTV, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga kasamahang alagad ng sining at kultura sa buong bansa. Sa susunod na buwan, magbubukas ang ikalawang production ng Ballet Manila para sa aming 19th performance season, ang 2, na itatanghal sa Aliw Theater sa darating na October 10, 11, and 12. Tinawag po namin itong 2 dahil dalawang guest choreographers ang aming inimbita upang magpakita ng kanilang mga bagong obra na ginawa para sa Ballet Manila. Noong nakaraang Mayo, nakasama natin dito sa Art2art ang isa sa dalawang guest choreographers natin na si Mr. Jonathan Watkins. At sa hapong ito, kilalanin naman natin ang ikalawang guest artist na magpapakita ng kanyang mga bagong likhang sayaw sa 2, British choreographer Martin Lawrence.
Isinilang sa Inglaterra at nagsimulang magsanay sa pagsayaw si Martin Lawrence bilang miyembro ng Leicester Youth Dance Theatre sa ilalim ng direksyon ni Sue Rosenblum. Nagpatuloy siya sa pag-aaral sa Coventry Centre for Performing Arts at pagkatapos nito ay sa London Contemporary Dance School. Nakilala niya ang tanyag na British choreographer at artistic director na si Richard Alston habang nagtatanghal kasama ang postgraduate performance group na 4D. Bunga nito, naimbitahan si Martin na maging miyembro ng Richard Alston Dance Company mula 1995 hanggang 2007, kung saan mahigit sa 25 choreographies ang nagawa para lamang sa kanya. Taong 2000 nang maanyayahan si Martin ng Meltdown Festival director at composer na si Scott Walker para gawin ang choreography ng thimble rigging sa daloy ng isang original score. Mula noon, nakagawa na siya ng 5 pyesa para sa London Contemporary Dance School at 2 naman para sa State School of Dance sa Athens. Gumawa din siya ng ilang choreographies para sa Richard Alston Dance Company, Ballet Black, Scottish Ballet at ngayon para sa Ballet Manila. Isang mainit na pagsalubong ang hatid ng Art2art sa British choreographer na si Martin Lawrence.
Kasama po natin ang British choreographer na si Mr. Martin Lawrence. Good afternoon, Martin, and welcome to Art2art.
Good afternoon, Lisa. Thank you very much for inviting me here.
Yeah, of course, Martin, I know a little bit of this history because I was part of it.
Yes.
You were recommended to me by Graham Watts as one of these emerging choreographers that would really be a good fit for Ballet Manila, for our classical, neoclassical background, to do a new piece on us. And so, welcome to the Philippines.
Thank you.
How has it been?
It's been great since I've been here. It's flown by. I've been here for 2 weeks, and it feels like 2 days. It's been really exciting. Great to work with the dancers. Great to work with Ballet Manila in general. It's been really inspiring.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we go into the piece that you're doing for Ballet Manila, that's scheduled to be premiered in October, let's go back to when you were a dancer. Okay. What was a particular incident in your life that led you to become a dancer, a professional dancer?
It was an interesting situation. I went to a drama college and I majored in theatre. And at the end of my first year, the theatre teacher said, "You're not very good." But I've heard, because we had to do movement, we had to do dance as part of that course. They said, "I've heard from the dance teachers that you're very good at the dance." So in the second year, I switched courses and did a year's kind of foundation course in dance. And then that led me to auditioning to the London Contemporary Dance School, to the Rambert School, and I chose London Contemporary Dance School. So I was quite new to dance.
So you were a late starter in dance?
17.
At 17?
17
wow.
I started. So I had a lot to catch up on very quickly. I remember an audition at the London Contemporary Dance School that I took. I thought a frappe was a coffee. It's not.
Okay.
It's an actual beating step. Yeah.
Yes,
So that's how little I knew at the time of auditioning.
Okay, and then so you auditioned and basically you became a dancer.
Yeah, I did my 3-year BA honours in contemporary dance, where we studied ballet every day and contemporary, and other things like improvisation, art history, dance history. And then I went on to do a postgraduate course with a touring company called 4D, which is where I got to work with Richard Alston for the first time, and that was in '95. And then I joined his company in '95.
As a dancer
As a dancer first, yes.
And then with Richard Alston, you started into choreography?
Yes, yeah. I was always interested in choreography when I was younger. My grandma says I would never sit still. I was always jumping around, making up little, gymnastics routines or things. And then, yes, so I was interested in choreography, and Richard encouraged that. For a while, I was just a dancer, doing little bits of pieces on the side. And then I think in 2002, Richard saw a piece that I made in Athens, on a school in Athens, absolutely loved it, and said, would I teach that to the company? So that's where it started.
Okay.
And then since then, every year there's either 1 or 2 pieces of mine in the repertoire for his company.
So would you consider Richard a mentor?
Yes, most definitely.
Or would you have other mentors that basically are responsible for the artist that you are today?
I would say Richard is the one. He's my best friend. We see eye to eye most of the time. And I say the 10% when we don't, it's about choreography, where he'll say, try this, and I'm like, are you sure? He'll challenge me in that way, knowing that it will make me think about what I'm actually doing. And then he's always right. It's really hard. You can go, of course, that's, if I wanted a set, I hang a ladder from the lighting rig, and Richard will say, get rid of that. Why are you doing that? I said, well, my idea is this. And he said, you don't need it. Your choreography, your work speaks for everything. It doesn't need added kind of gimmicks, if that makes sense.
You mentioned earlier that you were always moving around as a child, but do you remember your very, very first actual choreography, and what was it like? The first major one was when I was the 3rd year at London Contemporary Dance School, and I made a piece that I called Helping Hand. Everyone thought it was amazing. They thought I was digging into very topical points. I remember using the last 3 lines of the Beatles song I Want to Hold Your Hand, and then the whole piece was in silence, and then the ending was the whole Beatles song minus the last 3 lines. And we all wore rubber gloves, so people thought it was about safe sex, it was about lots of, and for me it was all about hand movements. I was just accentuating the hands, and that's where people that I was around at the time kind of went, he's got a voice. So I carried on with that. I started, it's quite hard when you dance for a particular choreographer in England for a long period of time. They think that you're just mimicking that choreographer. So a lot of reviews at the beginning of my choreographic career were saying, well, it's Richard Alston's protege, he hasn't got his own voice, it's very much in this style. Of course, because that's where I've been dancing. Now I'm really moving away, and I'm being recognized for my own voice, and particularly in musicality as well, because I don't choose very easy pieces of music. Really? Why is that?
I like the challenge. I think if it's too beautiful, if it's too lyrical, I'll do something that's not from here. So it's a bit wafty, a bit naff. So I like to choose a challenge to really get my brain channeled into that challenge.
Okay. Well, I often ask this question to choreographers or creators. It's the chicken and egg question. What comes first, the idea, the music, the dancers? What comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Chicken or the egg, yes. I would always say music. On top of that, I would say I have to know the dancers. So which came first, the chicken or the egg? I wouldn't have been able to choose this piece of music had I not seen the dancers previously. Because I wouldn't have known where they would take the music. Then the idea comes in my own imagination whilst listening to the music. Because I won't choreograph to a piece of music until I've listened to it for about 2 or 3 months. So it has to be, the music has to be in my body before I can make steps and the dance for other people's bodies.
Okay, okay. And do you take all the steps from when you were a dancer, or are they like from pieces that you've seen or actually danced or created for? A
couple of phrases from this ballet, are little ideas that I've had in the past. Just the unison, 2 unison sections. I tend not to make up anything before I go into the studio, because what I'm interested in is the relationship between me and the dancer. Because I may say, do this, and they may do this.
Okay.
And I might say, that's better. You know, since having injuries, I talk a lot. And I think choreography is problem solving. So I kind of go, well, that looks awkward. How can we move out of that? Can we try this? And 99% it works. 1% I scratch my head and go, scrap, let's do something else. But I think you have to go with what... I'm not saying that the dancers make up the steps. I love choreography too much for the dancers to create steps. I think that's wrong. A choreographer should make the steps.
I agree.
Yes. But I like to see where the dancers take it. So that's what's been really inspiring this time with Ballet Manila, to see where certain dancers take movement imaginatively as well, not just kind of, yes, I know this step, but where can they have the freedom to really move and to be imaginative?
That's right. You mentioned you've had injuries in the past, and did that affect the length of your dancing career? Was that the hardest obstacle that you had to? Was that the hardest obstacle you had to challenge yourself to overcome?
I think, people say now that if I went to a dance college or a university and I had a body scan, they wouldn't let me into the school. They say my legs have a 3-way curve rather than a 2-way curve, the knee structure. So in a way, I've got used to that now. And the injuries, I danced for Richard for 12 years, which is a pretty...
For a late starter, that's
starter.
Amazing.
And I had my I started in 95. I had my first knee operation in 97. So only quite young. I was 23, 24. And then I had the second knee operation 7 years later. And I'm due to have another knee operation, which I don't really want to have, because I found my way through. Now I've stopped dancing. I retired in 2007, so it's been 7 years since I retired. It's a big obstacle, but I had my choreography to think about. I'm also the rehearsal director and main repetiteur for Richard's work, so I go around the world teaching pieces of Richard Alston. So I've got enough to keep myself busy, so I don't miss dancing anymore, you know. And it was a nice, easy transition.
So it's mainly the knees that have been really battered.
I have major arthritis and no meniscus in either knee.
Oh my Lord, that sounds painful.
It's very painful. It takes a while in the morning to actually get my knees going, and they dislocate quite often, which is very nice. I'm used to that now.
Okay, well, we'll discuss more about your precisely the piece that you're creating for Ballet Manila after the commercial break.
Excellent, thank you.
Marami pa po tayong pag-uusapan kasama ang British choreographer na si Mr. Martin Lawrence. Dito pa rin sa Art2art, magbabalik po kami pagkatapos ng ilang paalala.
Programang hatid ay sining at kulturang para sa lahat. Magbabalik ang Art2art. Schedule ng mga inaabangang konsyerto. Update sa mga magagandang panoorin sa mga tanghalan at teatro. Narito na ang Art2art Calendar.
Narito ang ating arts calendar. Sa sining biswal, inihahandog ng Gallery 9 ang 10th Annual Sculpture Review, ang pinakamalaking pagtitipon ng mga Pilipinong eskultor sa bansa. Magbubukas ito sa September 19 sa Arts Center ng SM Mega Mall sa Mandaluyong City. Ang exhibit ay kabibilangan ng mahigit sa 80 bagong obra. Tatagal ng 1 buwan ang pagtatanghal sa naturang exhibit. Sa teatro, inihahandog ng Dulaang UP ang produksyong pinamagatang Ang Huling Lagda ni Apolinario Mabini, ukol sa mga huling araw ng bayani noong siya'y naka-exile sa Guam at ang kanyang desisyon na bumalik sa bansa. Ito ay sa panulat ni Floy Quintos, direksyon at choreography ni Dexter M. Santos at orihinal na music ni Krina Kayabyab. Mapapanood ang musical mula October 1 hanggang 19 sa Wilfrido Maria Guerrero Theater, Palma Hall, UP Diliman, Quezon City. Para sa kumpletong detalye, tumawag sa 926-1349 o mag-email sa dulaangupmarketing@gmail.com. Samantala, itatanghal naman ni Michael Williams ang kanyang solo concert na pinamagatang Never Felt Better sa September 18, 7:30 ng gabi sa tanghalang Aurelio Tolentino ng Cultural Center of the Philippines. Ito ay ang pangalawang palabas sa seryeng Triple Threats na nakatuon sa mga batikang musical theater artist na marunong kumanta, sumayaw at umarte sa entablado. Si Williams ay veteranong aktor ng Repertory Philippines at kasama sa original cast ng Miss Saigon sa London noong 1989. Para sa karagdagang detalye, tumawag sa 832-1125.
Usapang sining at kultura para sa lahat. Kasama ang balerina ng bayan, si Lisa Macuja. Art2art.
Kasama pa rin natin ang isa sa 2 guest artists ng Ballet Manila para sa aming production ngayong Oktubre, British choreographer Martin Lawrence. Martin, so tell us about the ballet that you have created for Ballet Manila for 2. Is the title final?
I think it is.
Misfit or Maverick?
Yes,
okay.
That's right. That's right.
So tell us about Misfit or Maverick.
Misfit. It's been a kind of evolving kind of experience at the moment. I knew that there was one dancer in particular in the company that I really, really wanted to use. Imaginatively, technically, dramatically. So I was thinking about how can I have this one person but then still use all the other dancers in the company. So I thought, well, let's have somebody that maybe doesn't fit in, maybe wants to change the world and say, I want to do this. So that's why I thought of the title Misfit or Maverick. And the audience can decide. Maybe it's a bit of a big brother. You decide, you know. And I chose this not easy piece of music. It's very dramatic. It's a string quartet by a Russian composer, Alexander Mosolov. He was very much in the avant-garde period during Stalin's realm. He didn't conform. And was excluded from the music circle in Moscow. So was he a misfit? Was he a maverick? Yeah. You know, so the composer, the music, the idea for the piece are kind of all intermingled.
And the dancer.
And the dancer.
That inspired you to create
this.
Piece.
Yeah. So it's kind of they're all coming together. There's lots of kind of folk rhythms in in the piece. So I've tried to use that with the dancers. It's for me, it's quite classical, I think. It's quite a classical piece with the edgy, modern, contemporary twist to it. There's floor work, there's also point work. You know, there's lots of beautiful pas de deux, I think. So I've really tried to use the dancers to make this piece.
Okay, let's talk about the inspiration for Misfit or Maverick, Junior Principal Gerardo Francisco. During the first stage of the auditions, when you were still watching class and watching the company and previous pieces, what struck you as the quality of his dancing? What struck you to make him the primary character to lead your piece into creation?
Aside from his amazing technique, I think he's very, very secure in his technique. He's, you know, a great dancer. The imagination that he puts into movement. I knew that I could throw things at him and he would actually try to make something of it. And that's rare to see in a dancer in class. You see some people in the class and they're just doing their thing, but you could really see him digging into the movement. And really making it his own. And I thought, that's someone that I could really work with and guide as well, if that makes. And also, he's a very good modern dancer as well. You know, he can do triple tours, full pirouettes, but he's actually very grounded as a dancer, which is really exciting to see, because then I know I can get the best from my work from him with the classical steps mixed with the grounded floor work.
Okay. What other dancers in the company struck you as, you know, being really great to work with?
I think all of my first cast are great to work with. Yeah, Mylene.
That has 11 dancers. No,
15.
15 dancers. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, I could mention them all. Mylene is amazing to work with. Michael is an amazing dancer. Rudy. Of course. Donna.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all. Now I've made the piece, I want to, half of me wants to make changes and give people more to do, because you see people grow. For someone like Donna, yesterday I watched the run through and I thought, where has this come from? You know, if I'd have seen this 2 weeks ago, I would have given her more and more to do. So you kind of think it's quite an intense period, and you try and get what you can from them, but some people grow. So now I'm looking at Donna thinking, okay, I need to add more for her here, or you know, highlight her more, and also Jean-Marc as well, who partners Donna. So it's interesting. It's luckily, I've got the chance of a second or third cast, so I can work with people in a different way as well.
Okay. I often ask this for visiting choreographers and dancers, because of course it's your first time, more or less, to come to the Philippines. Have you seen anything outside of the ballet studio?
I have, luckily.
Around the Philippines, and
yes.
what are your impressions of our country, our culture, our people?
I find everything so warm, so inviting. The people are so warm. They're always ready to smile, which is very different to England. Very, very, especially London. I went to Tagaytay, and to the Tal volcanoes, which was just, it was hot, but it was so inspirational, so beautiful, just to kind of see this kind of expanse of kind of nature, of the volcanoes. It was just, it was beautiful, it was breathtaking. I keep looking at my pictures now going, I want to go back. You know, and I could really still see myself there. And also I've been to Boracay. It was a little bit rainy and windy.
Typhoon season.
Yes, but it was beautiful. And the same thing, you know, everyone's warm, everyone's friends. So you feel as if you're in a real community wherever you go. So far, that's what I've felt.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Which is beautiful, I feel safe. And that's really and warm and invited. That feels really nice.
Working with the dancers, working with Filipino artists, is there anything that's different from working with other companies? I'm not trying to put you in a spot
No,
here,
no,
okay?
no. Do you know what I like? When something goes wrong, they giggle, your dancers, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
Because you kind of go, this could be really serious, but no, actually, this is really great, you know. And I always say, in choreography, there's no wrong or right.
Yeah.
It's different paths.
Yeah.
So actually, when things go a little bit wrong and we have a joke, or, you know, the working situation is very concentrated, very clear, very focused. So it's nice to occasionally have a little bit of giggles, you know, but still staying focused.
Yes, well, that's what they say. Filipinos keep their sense of humor even in the times of, you know, real crises.
Yes. No, definitely. I think you have to, don't you? Definitely.
Okay, so after Ballet Manila, after two, after Misfit or Maverick, what awaits you in London or in any other part of the world? What are your future projects?
When I leave in October, I premiere a new piece with the Richard Alston Dance Company. I've chosen very, very different music to the music that I've chosen for Ballet Manila, also to give myself another challenge. I'm choosing a piece of music by Franz Liszt, which is very romantic, piano sonatas for an amazing pianist that we work with in England, Jason Ridgway. So we're collaborating on, Liszt can be done in so many different ways, and it's very personal, the way that you play it. So we're working together to find a version that suits us. So I'll be premiering that in October, late October, and then I'll be going on tour with the Richard Alston Dance Company, looking after his work, looking after my work, doing lots of teaching. Also, I'm going to Michigan, to New Jersey to set 2 of Richard's ballets. So I'm a busy boy.
Traveling all over.
Yes, definitely.
And I always ask this question of artists that are creators, your dream project, when budget and cast and everything is, you know, no holds barred, what would be your dream project?
This sounds like a cop-out.
Yeah.
Every new project is a dream project because I never know what I'm getting.
Okay.
And I never...
Very diplomatic answer there.
I never think of, you know, do I want a film set? Do I want this? Do I, you know, I kind of look and go, well, this is the piece that is in here at the moment. So that's the best place to be.
Yeah.
Of course, if one had money, would one want flying? Would one want pyrotechnics?
Yeah.
I don't know, because it's about the work that I create with the dancers. You know, yes, that's a really interesting question. I think each project I see as the dream, because that's where I am at that moment.
Yeah.
And then the next project happens, and that's the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like any dancer would like the best performance to be the next performance. Isn't that
exactly.
true?
Exactly. That's true. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Martin,
my pleasure.
for spending your Sunday afternoon with us.
My pleasure.
And
Thank you for
we
inviting
are
me.
definitely looking forward to 2, which will include Misfit or Maverick. That's on October 10, 11, and 12 in Aliw Theatre. You can subscribe now to the season of Ballet Manila, to the 19th season, and also get your tickets to 2 through Ticket World. Just call 891-9999 or log on to www.ticketworld.com.ph. And in 2, you will see Martin Lawrence's first ballet for Ballet Manila. And we are looking forward to many more in the future.
I hope so.
So we are going to have you back on the show and have you back working with Ballet Manila really soon, I hope.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hanggang sa susunod na linggo, samahan ninyo kami ulit dito sa Art2art, kung saan ang usapang sining at kultura ay para sa lahat. Ito po ang inyong balerina ng bayan, Lisa Macuja, nagpupugay sa artistang Pilipino.